It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know if you should stay home or if you should go. Might even yell if it's a spectacle. From San Francisco to Long Island. 'Cause nothing's better than a motion video.
It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando,
And I'm Mindy Mcfann.
and this is This Movie Time.
Yaha!
Now, I've had 5 daughters,
Lucky
one
you.
one son, and not one of them was mean.
Mm-hmm. To you.
And I needed you badly today because, as you can tell, my memory is nothing but good thoughts about teenage girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that they're a varied lot, but that some of them can be mean. So now we have, a musical called
Absolutely.
Mean Girls,
Yeah.
based upon a 2004
Mhm.
film and a stage version.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are. So I'm an expert, but not. But I said,
Lucky you.
who's one who's super good with people and who certainly has had kids in education, in the sense that you have watched girls in education.
Still watching it.
Still watching it. So, yeah, give me a reaction to Mean Girls.
I mean, first of all, Tina Fey is a marvelous woman. She wears her power very well, and I love her for that. Second of all, I enjoyed the first movie because it taps into something all women know, that potential is there. I mean, if you ask most women who was the mean girl in your grade or your class,
Mm-hmm.
they'll go, oh yeah. They'll immediately have a name come to mind.
Yes.
I happen to feel empathetic toward the mean girl because I just think women for so many bazillions of years had no power, and women learned to take power in less direct ways, in more what you could say were underhanded ways because they had no choice. And I think it was a survival mechanism for women to be manipulative and other things at certain times because they were surviving and they had no power over their circumstances at all. They were just chattel. So I think there's a historical origin that brings about the whole mean girl phenomenon, but it's real. We still have it in school today.
I love this, Mindy. This is something I never even thought about. I just thought there was a particular kind of girl who, when she hits high school, and is a mean girl. And that's a great analysis. And for so long, women have had to exercise their power in a way that men never even had to worry about.
Right?
And that is great in high school. Yikes.
Yeah.
Mindy,
Yeah.
what's the profile of a mean girl?
Usually somebody who is woefully insecure and has problems of their own that they don't want anybody to know about. And so they exert power over their surroundings by pitting women against each other and pitting circumstances against each other to keep themselves safe.
All right, so how does that apply to, it would be Regina George. This is Renee Rapp in Mean Girls. So tell me how she fits.
Well, you see how insecure she lives with a mother who obviously validates everything superficial in the world. And so I have to be pretty, I have to be thin, I have to be popular to exist. And that's how she lives. And you see how the other girl, the new girl, is drawn into that based on her own insecurities and trying to become that power wielder because she's scared.
And we're talking, the new girl is Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Heron.
Uh-huh.
And that's, I've never seen her before. And Gory Rice.
Mm-hmm. Neither have I.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned slender. Now, it's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
These girls are very good-looking girls.
Mhm.
Particularly the mean girls are beauties in a way. But Regina is a little bit different from our usual. In fact, Renee comes from the musical.
Right.
But she is heftier than I would have thought, or how.
Well, I think we live in a different world.
Yeah, all right, that's,
You know,
yeah, I
standards
wonder.
are a little more realistic nowadays.
Yeah,
That being said, what they try to do to take her down is to make her gain weight.
that's right, yes, that's right.
That is still how you can hurt a woman.
That's still, it's like a candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
And she eventually finds out that that's what the trick
Right.
that they pulled on her to bring
Right.
her down.
They try to make her skin break out, and they try to make her gain weight. And that's the kind of underhanded things that go on in middle school and high school. How anybody survives it, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I the same thing when I look at it and say, boy, gosh, I just had no experience really with bullying or whatever. And these girls are hardcore.
Oh, absolutely.
So back to Regina again, who dominates this film.
Yes.
And I think that, who was it in the original, that she was?
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
Oh, Lindsay Lohan played the new girl in the new one, or
Right.
the original one.
Right, yeah, and I don't remember, it's been so long ago.
No, I don't know
who the bad
either.
girl is.
Yeah.
But the new girl, the lead, Katie,
Mhm.
is more demure, do you think, than I hate to get into the comparison. I'm so glad my memory is faulty because
Right.
I can't slip too far into that. But this girl starts out being really, she's homeschooled, she's coming from Kenya.
Yeah. No, I think the original one was much the same, because you see the how she gets sucked into it. That she starts out and it's why her mother's so confused. She starts out, she's this very kind kid,
Yes,
but to survive in this world that is made up of school and cliques and all that, she adjusts. So she's not afraid. I mean, I think she came in very afraid. She didn't understand all the nuances of where you sit and who you sit with and how you dress and all that, because she'd been out in the middle of nowhere in Kenya. So I think you see her survival skills adjust as it goes on.
right, that's great. Survival skills, that's a nice take. That helps me so much in this, because sometimes I'm looking back and saying, boy, this is just beyond my experience.
I see it every day at work.
Okay.
Every day at work.
Do you really?
Oh, absolutely. I could tell you which girls they were. I mean, I could name names. But I sit with kids all the time who are trying to navigate all of these things, boys and girls. And I always try to give them empathy. Like, I don't know how anybody gets through middle school alive. Or high school.
Yes.
High school, I think, is a little easier. Middle school, I just think is,
It's true, I did teach middle school for a couple of years, so I do know the challenges there.
it's rough.
And boy, those hormones are just incredible.
Mhm.
I mean, they just ravage these kids.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And there are the bookish kind of kids that are often a different, they're so stratified.
Yeah, well, but I gotta tell you, John, I kept thinking about what I was gonna talk about with
Yes.
this movie, because it's not complicated. And it just hit me that, I don't know if the world has just become immature, but I always used to tell the middle school kids, don't worry, it ends.
Right,
This isn't
yes,
forever.
this too will pass.
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Ah,
We have become so cliquish between if you're a millennial, if you're a boomer, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you believe in this, if you believe in that. And I'm
Yes.
like, wow, is middle school now go on forever?
yes.
I mean, I was really kind of horrified at that revelation that maybe this movie has more to do with us now than it does with kids in school. And that's sad.
Yeah, boy, yeah. After all, the title is Mean Girls, and when I wrote about it, I emphasized the mean part. I thought this was really heavily mean, and they were mean to an extent that I really hadn't figured before. I guess I'm looking with rose-colored glasses at 2004.
Right.
But I think you're so right.
Yeah, there's mean girls in Congress now.
Yes, yeah.
And that's
Of course.
That's disturbing. And I use girls in quotes because it's not just girls,
Well, isn't that true? I mean, when you look at our presidential race,
Yeah,
there's absolute meanness going on, particularly on the Republican side.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I think Biden is not a mean person, but
No.
I think that Trump is evidences, and that's no secret.
no,
I mean,
it's just cruel.
He trades on that,
Yes, and he's proud of it,
and he's proud of it,
and that's scary to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be in middle school now
Oh my
at all.
gosh, yeah.
I don't want to vilify people who don't agree with me, because our country to function well, it's very important that people don't agree with me and they're not like me. And it's a little scary that we've turned into adults with cliques.
Oh, Mindy, this time just sped by. If people want to hear more about what we have to say, we might even talk about the movie itself. It'll be in our podcast, which is Back Talk, and you have to go to WCBE.org into the podcast experience. So, Mindy Mcfann, what advice do you have for our audience for Mean Girls?
Go see it, because it's very enjoyable and it's fun and it brings back memories, good and bad. But think a little more about it when you watch it.
It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know